I'm Martin, and this is...
I'm Justin.
And today we are going to break down to you Singapore property in simple terms. And we are going to tackle a big question today, which is CCR versus RCR versus
OCR.
and how do the prices compare and what does it mean for you as a buyer and investor in 2025? Let me start with the definition first.
Okay, so for simple layman term, CCR is actually referring to your core central region. So just think of your prime area in Singapore, such as Orchard, CBD, Tanglin, River Valley. Also, these are the core central region. And once you hit the outer area, that will be known as the rest of the central region. So in other words, RCR. So that's where your city fringe, such as Toa Payoh, Queenstown, Katong, Bishan. Then when you go even further outer to in the Singapore map, that is your OCR, the outside of central region. That's where your town area, the neighborhood vibes such as Punggol, Jurong, and as well as Yishun.
So essentially, we can think of CCR as the prime location,
Correct.
and then RCR is like the fringe of the prime location, and then OCR is our heartlands. Right?
So it's basically like an onion. It's peeled wider and wider. So the core of the onion is actually your CCR. Then go wider out all the way to OCR.
Okay. Can. So for the prices wise itself, we can see that for new launch in the past year, CCR is looking at average PSF of 3,100 per square feet, and RCR about 2,700 per square feet, and OCR about 2,100 per square feet. And actually, this has been quite be on the rise over the past few years, right? So why the difference? What do you think?
The difference, I think, basically based on what we perceive. Right? So it's actually on the rise for the past few years, right? Mainly, I felt that because people are going all the way outside to stay right now, developers are also focusing more on the outer area because government has been introducing decentralization. So when all the master plan changes, try to move Singapore out from the central region to the outskirts, so that's where developers start to pump in more, try to develop more in the outer area, and people are starting to buy into it, and that actually causes prices to go up.
I agree because especially for if we look at the other flip side, CCR, where is the traditionally the prestige and prime location, and these are where foreigners are always buying, and because of the ABSD increase for foreigners, which is 60% now, yeah, so it has sort of tapered the growth for CCR prices and made the CCR prices growth a bit slower, and people are slowly moving to RCR and OCR, which are more livable areas, right, for the locals. Yeah, so I think RCR offers quite a good balance because you're still quite near to the town, you're just at the city fringe, and of course, you still do pay a premium compared to OCR, but for people who are working in town, traveling to town will be much more convenient, right?
And one big difference is that for RCR, right, mainly they are the most of them are actually in a mature town. So if you put in the definition, they are mature town in Singapore. So when you mature town, right, what buys people over is that you have all the facilities and amenities right there, already made. While in the outer areas such as OCR, for Tengah, it's still a developing area. So when it's still developing, right, people are not, some of them will not be convinced to go in right at the start, and they still prefer the mature town area because their kids all need school at the moment.
Yeah, correct. I think I agree with that because a lot of the amenities is what impacts people's decision to buy in a place, right? Whether it's a primary school or even nearby a shopping mall or near a MRT or any other food center and stuff like that. I think that really impacts the decision that people buy into the area, right? So actually, I think the next part we talk about is also like what it means for the buyers, right? Are we buying for own stay or investment or whatever your objectives are? Yeah. If you're buying for own stay, actually I think a lot depends on like where you work at, right? And
Correct.
where your parents are or where your kids' school are, and maybe more often than not, these are usually in the OCR areas, right?
Yeah, so I found myself where I get my house, right? Some of the aspect that come to my consideration is such as my family. So my parents, where are they staying at? How do I travel to them in a nearer point of view? How to get them easier? Which road to go by? So they actually impact more of me going towards the OCR area. Yeah. So I think if you are looking into own stay, probably that's some of the decision that you have in mind as well. But bear in mind when it comes to that part, right? Your profit in terms of profit entry price will not be the same as for CCR, for example. CCR definitely command higher, OCR command lower. But with lower, right, the attraction point to get invested in is also different as well. For CCR, I think mainly more foreigners will come in. You can see rent out easier to expect, which might not be the same case for OCR if you're looking for rentability.
Correct. I totally agree. So that's why talking about for investors, so we talk about the own stay portion, but actually for investors looking to buy your second property for rental, actually you might look more into RCR or even CCR, because this is where your foreign expat demands are. And actually RCR do offer quite a good balance because you don't pay such a high price like CCR, but yet it is very rentable, and a lot of the RCR are all very accessible near MRT, which are where the rental demand are. Yeah, correct. So to sum all this up, I think we can see that actually CCR is where the prestige and the prime areas are. Like if you really want that lifestyle to be in all the heart of Singapore, But of course, because of the high entry prices and foreigner ABSD, this actually starts to impact the growth of CCR. But we actually do have a very upcoming project in CCR that is at a very attractive price point, right?
Yes, for CCR, there's actually Zion Grand. It's coming right up. So for investors, they have to know that because Zion Grand is actually in the city area, it actually tends to pull more of buyers and investors. And what CCR right now is that because of the price point is more stagnant, like what Martin mentioned earlier on, now give you a good opportunity to come in before the pricing went going up in the future. So it's actually, if you're comparing CCR to RCR, the difference is actually not a lot right now. So give you a very unique opportunity.
Yeah, I think there is another project, Sky at Holland, which also comes at a very attractive price point for you to live next to Holland V MRT with lots of amenities, food, and also quite a livable area, like if you ask me, even though it's considered CCR.
Importantly for Holland V, right, Sky at Holland, so it's actually launching about 2006 PSF onwards. And you bear in mind that recent RCR project, for example, like Promenade Peak, is actually launching around 3,000 PSF. So you're actually paying lesser for CCR area. Yeah. So that actually, to me, that's one big plus point, beside all the vibes and all.
Yeah. I think Holland is quite interesting project lah. Yeah. Anyway, so to sum it all, I think we hope that you all have understood the difference between the CCR, RCR, and OCR, and also how the prices vary across the years, and also what are the considerations before buying into these areas. Anything else?
Well, for me, I just add on that although despite what we were saying, that from whatever we see, it sounds like CCR is actually the most prime area, but do bear in mind that the outer so the OCR area is actually developing along the years. Yeah, so with further development around the Northern Gateway, the Western Gateway as well, there's also Jurong Lake District coming right up. So buying into OCR project could be an opportunity for you to step in and to let it grow. So you're one of the first few movers into it. So you can take Punggol for example, or Jurong East for example. They are OCR projects, but look at the shopping malls around the area, the hospital, the healthcare. It's all just right by at your doorstep.
I think that quickly sums up everything, and thanks for tuning in, and we hope you have learned something, and remember to follow us and subscribe to us to know more, and we will see you in the next one.
Yeah, we just put out our handle right here. His name is Martin, and I'm Justin. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.